Today we're going to look at the Smith Wesson Model 410 from the American Pride series. This was the last in the full metal Smith Wesson centerfire pistols. The Model 410 in 40 Smith Wesson. Excellent pistol. As you can see, it came with a nice plastic, hard plastic case with an embossed S&W, made in USA, right on the case. This firearm is a few years old, but still in excellent condition. This is from the American Pride series, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in just a moment. Also, there is a Smith & Wesson safety and instruction manual. Also has a chamber safety plug here, which we're of course going to remove. That it does have a magazine safety disconnect, so the gun you can't pull the trigger without a magazine in the chamber. And of course we've already safety checked it with the safety plug, so we're going to go ahead and drop that hammer. Of course you can drop the hammer with the decocker. Very nice. Really like the white lettering on the Smith. Here's the other side. It's just plain plastic grips. It has a aluminum alloy frame to give it some to keep the weight down, and then a carbon steel slide and steel parts. This is a blued finish on top. It does hold 10-in-1 40 caliber Smith & Wesson cartridges, plus one in the chamber. Of course, originally it was designed as the 411, which was before the assault weapons, and the Brady bill, which allowed only for 10-round magazines. And I'm going to show you something. It only came with one 10-round magazine. Here is your 411 magazine that holds the 11 rounds, and with the 11 at the bottom. With this 10-round magazine, you can see where it's been, there's been a machining done here to press it as a plug to keep it from holding any more than 10. So it's the same shape, style, and everything, but this one only holds 10. They're stainless steel. Very nice magazine, by the way, as usual for Smith & Wesson products. The Model 410 is considered a full-size semi-automatic pistol. It weighs 28.5 ounces. So even though the aluminum alloy frame brings the weight down from an all-steel frame, it still has a decent amount of heft to it. Now, I mentioned the American Pride series, and this was made to make these guns very affordable. And so a few of the things about this does not affect function, reliability, or accuracy. In fact, a lot of owners of the 410 that have other third-generation pistols say that the 410's trigger pull is actually slightly better. But most of these guns the internals were done on the same line, so there's not really any difference. I'm going to give you a few of the differences that I know about. For one thing, has plastic fixed sights, 3-dot sights. They're nice. They are plastic. There is a plastic plug guide rod right here that is inside the gun, and we're going to take another look at that. There's no stippling on front of the trigger guard or in the front of the grip, which would add cost. And also, if you look at the slide, it is a little blockier. Also, the frame itself is a little thicker right in here. But just the quality is still there. The value is not. They didn't really cut a lot of corners as far as quality. It was just some of the machining processes made it a little simpler and a little more affordable. One of the other things about the Value Series pistol is that it has just one magazine was included with the pistol itself. There are aftermarket magazines, and there are even Smith & Wesson magazines that are available on the market today. Easy to load, very smooth. Holds 11 rounds with the 11 round magazines, and then you can have one in the chamber to make that 12. Holes in the side so you can check. As you can see here, the 11 with the brass denotes this magazine is fully loaded. Now, in a time where there are a lot of these polymer guns, this is just a nice classic feel to it. Has the straight grip, very nice to hold in the hand. The sight picture with 3-dot sights. It is classified as a single action, double action, even with the decocker. And what that means is that double action, and I'm going to have to put the magazine in to demonstrate this. Of course, the gun has been safety checked, as we've seen at the beginning. With the magazine in, this gun, with a round in the chamber, can fire the first round double action. That means when you pull the trigger, the hammer drops, firing the round. But after the subsequent round after that, pulls the slide back and leaves the hammer back. This is in single action mode. Of course, then we can put the decocker on and it'll drop the hammer. Now, to show the single action mode, if the gun has been decocked, take it into the fire position, as you can see, where the red will be exposed, and then you can pull the hammer back and it locks back ready to fire. Once you put a safety on, though, this cannot be carried cocked and locked. So once you put the decocker safety on, it drops the hammer, but there is a hammer block to keep the firing pin from being fired. The gun is not ambidextrous, as you can see. It has the decocker just on one side, the slide release on one side, and the magazine release, which is right here. Comes out very smoothly. Great for magazine changes. The magazines are very smooth and easy to manipulate into the pistol. With some bailing here, it's bailed just a little bit to allow a magazine to slide in. As you can see, the space. Plastic floor plate, in case when you drop the magazine. Blue follower. This gun is very simple to break down. It's just your basic pin through with the slide release, and what you need to do is bring it back to where this little notch is right here in front of the slide release. And then once you get it to this position, you just push this pin through, pull it out. This will release the slide. Here we have the recoil spring with a recoil guide rod. You want to be careful to release it slowly so it doesn't shoot. This is part of the value series. Is a plastic, has a little pin that has a D10 in it. There's an added spring. Barrel comes right out. As you can see, the internals here and here. Now, one of the things that's kind of unusual is to reassemble is we're going to go ahead and reset our barrel, put our guide rod in, get to this little notch down here. You want that little lip to fit into the little lip. Here we go. Now, you're going to put this on. And what you're going to find is when you come back, you've got these spring-loaded pins that are coming up. So you're going to need to drop those down. Each one, as it gets to it, take a good look here. As you can see, that first pin drop, second one drop, and then this last one is probably the trickiest. And once you get it on, then just pull it back. You're going to want to get it back to where you can reinsert the slide release. Decocker, drops the hammer. Now these are only on the used market today, and I did see a couple for around the $450 range. They could go up to $475 down to about $425. Check gunbroker.com, Guns America, any of the online impact guns sometimes has them, and of course you may stumble across one at a gun show or at a pawn shop as well, or your local gun shop. And as always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more fun gun reviews and sensible survival. God bless America. Long live the Republic. In the age of polymer, nice to shoot a good... Yeah, I'm not blowing smoke. Oh, maybe a little.